So today is video 4, and we are going to be talking about your business in Shopify, your general business as well. What is your customer going to see on the invoices? And I mean, when they get an order, what are they going to see? How are you going to set up your business? Your taxes, your shipping. There's a lot we're going to cover today, so bear with me. And there is a list already. I've posted a list already, so you guys can go and have a look. So without ado, let me get a store, and then we'll talk about where we're going to do this. Okay, this is your Shopify store. Okay, and this is what you're going to see. And we are first going to go to settings, because this is literally the hub of your business. Okay, and I'm going to make a little screenshot of this. Boom. And so now, I mean, this is very overwhelming if you don't know where to add stuff, what to do. And again, I know I'm pushing Shopify, but if you're not doing Shopify, that's fine too, because you have to have these things ready. So remember, we've talked about the emails already. Okay, so here I would have, if that's my company name, I would have hello at alphabetangelsco.com. Okay, and then you're going to decide, I mean, what are you going to sell, right? You've got to decide what you're going to sell. So let's say I'm going to sell clothing. Okay, Alphabet's Code. That's one of the companies I wanted to set up, clothing. And then you're going to have to decide, what is your legal name, what is your address. Let me see here. What is your address? Where you're going to run your business from. So most of the time, an online store is you're at home and that's your address. But we don't really want to share our home address with everybody, right? So you can use your PO box number, but you also have to remember that, okay, so the PO box number that you're putting into your store address is also going to be translated to your location address. And we'll talk about that in a bit, because I'm going to show you that in the general settings. So the legal business name is going to be the information that will be on your legal pages, in your when people are sent in your invoices. So you want to know that this is where you're getting all your business information. So when you are setting up your company and you've registered your company, whether it's an LLC, PTY Limited, a DBA, I've got several DBAs. So I have a holding company, and I have several DBA companies underneath, because I run several businesses. So that's what you can do as well. So you have a holding company that actually covers all of the little businesses, and that's, you pay taxes in the holding company. But you can apply, you have to apply also so you're going to pay taxes in your company, but you have to apply for a sales tax or a VAT permit. Okay, don't forget it. There's 2 different types of taxes. All right, so decide, what are you going to do. So you have to do some research on what are the rules and regulations for your company. Okay, so if we're looking at your store industry, okay, you have to go to your state, your country, wherever you're going to start selling your information or selling your products at. But you have to really know what are the rules and regulations about your business. And I've just remembered something I wanted to add. Let me write it down. Something I wanted to add to the notes. Okay, so you need to taxes, research for your company, taxes. Okay, and what are the if you need permits. If you need permits to sell, you might need permits to sell restaurants, maybe. I've set up restaurants on Shopify. Virtual services, no services. if you're in beauty and you're doing hair stuff and you're also a hairdresser, so you got to know what does your industry, what rules and regulations are for your industry. Okay, in every single country, in every single state, and Louisiana has parishes, so every single parish has their own rules and regulations. So please make sure that you know what you're doing in your sphere of where you're running your business. And the rules and regulations are this address that is your legal business address, that is on your legal papers when you register your company, is what determines what rules and regulations you have to follow. Okay, I hope that's clear. And that also determines where your customers will be paying taxes. So obviously, you want to run your business in your time zone, Central Time, and then here's the units is so how you're gonna for every single product that you sell online, you have to have weights. If you don't have weights, how are people going to pay for their shipping? Or how are you going to determine how much your shipping is going to cost? So you need to know what the units are that you're going to do business in. Obviously there's metric and imperial, that's all there is in the world, right? And then pounds and ounces, or imperial you can do kilogram and grams. So it really depends. If you are selling really light stuff, you don't really want to do kilograms, right? Or pounds, then you want to do ounces. So you determine how your back end is set up, how your business is set up in the back end. This is important. So editing order information, this is you can set it to 1,000 so you don't look like you've only sold one. I'm always saying, look successful before you are successful. So people want to have confidence in us to know that we actually know how to run our businesses. So your store currency is, you can determine what your basic of your store currency is here as well. So let's have a look here. Let me see here. I've just set up an international company, managed. Let's see if I've got it here. Okay, let's do all, and we are going to do Drew. I think we called Jeff. No. Crew. Nope. I did set up a company here yesterday that was international. Okay, let me have a look, because I want to show you the international one. I've got a couple of international people in here, so I can see artifact. Actually, you know what we can do? Let's do it this way. I know that one of the companies here, Touched by an Angel, which is, let's see, we'll set it up internationally. So if I've helped you set up your store, then obviously my address is in there, unless I ask for your address, and I know I have. So let's have a look here. So if I'm under general and you set up, we've set up your business, and the country is, I'm going to go for, just for the hell of it, I'm going to go for Namibia, since that's where I'm from. I'm sorry for the sniffing. Namibia. Okay. Then obviously I'm going to make this Swakopmund, and Eronga I think is 800,000. PO Box, we'll leave that in, and my legal name is Touched by an Angel. Touched by an Angel. I'm just adding this in, so don't worry about it. Just going to see what happens. Okay, so we have a metric system, and I'll leave it on, I'll leave it on international. Let's do international dateline, and let's save it. So I'll be setting up the international side and the and so here we'll do Namibian dollars. I have Namibian dollars. Here we go. No, they do. Yes, they do. Namibian dollars. Very confusing, by the way. Namibian dollars. Extremely confusing. Especially if you are living in America and then you go and visit. Okay, so now this is all set up as an international company. So you're going to do the same and set up your company if you're in America. Okay, so let's go back and go into general locations. So remember I talked about the different addresses that we use. So if I go to locations, so enable inventory at locations. This is new guys. So every time so you see here, it's actually added my address, but I'm not shipping from here. I am shipping from here, right? I am shipping from here. But if I'm not shipping from here and you want to put a different address and you say Houston warehouse, and you put the address in, let's see here, 203 Westheimer, and it puts the address in and then save. And then we have two different locations. Okay, so what happens is you need to determine where you're sending stuff from. So if you had if you do drop shipping, then you put your drop shipper's address in here, because that's where you are paying your taxes, because that's where your inventory is coming out of. And also your shipping will be calculated from that address. Okay, so you can deactivate location, or you can actually delete location if you don't want that. So I'm going to obviously delete all this stuff, but let's go back to settings and to business. So the next thing that we need to find out is our taxes. Okay, I'm not going according to the list here, I'm just going to according to what's important. So next, our taxes is obviously this is I don't have products in here. I don't have products in here. I do. Look at that. Okay. So it'll tell me if I don't have taxes calculated on certain of my products. Okay. So here is, I am shipping from the United States. Okay. I'm collecting taxes from the United States. So I am collecting taxes from the state that my inventory and my business is registered. So, okay, so there's two things, right? So you got to pay taxes where your business is registered. So if my business is registered in Houston, Texas, I'll be paying taxes. My customers will be paying taxes if they are from Texas. Okay. And then my other clients, if my other location is, for instance, North Carolina or New York or whatever, clients, if my inventory comes from New York, Carolina, they will be paying taxes on New York, Carolina as well. And it really depends on the state. We will be doing a complete video just for taxes in the United States, because it is very difficult to understand, to know where you're paying taxes. In the beginning, you won't have to worry about it. You won't be collecting taxes, because every state has a boundary of what you need to sell before you have to pay taxes. But I want everybody to have it in their head that if you are going to go viral, please let's go viral, okay? Then what happens is that you need to be prepared to say, okay, my taxes have been this last year, I need to start paying taxes, okay? And we'll be asking all these questions to our tax expert, Amy Monroe, and this is one of the bonus videos I'm going to be making at the end when we are finished and we've launched our store. This is going to actually no, I'm probably making it next week. It's a little bonus video. Okay. And so here you also have to add your tax registration, which is your sales tax ID. Okay. So if we are in international, this is going to be interesting. International, we've got an international address. We are not collecting in the United States. We will be collecting. So this went in automatically because I registered. The first time I registered the company was in Houston, Texas. So let's go in here and say we are not collecting. We are collecting. Interesting. Okay, so we are you've got to add what your taxes are. Say for instance, there's 15%. I think in Namibia. I don't know. I think it's 15%. I'm not sure. Okay, so you have no tax overrides. Tax overrides are some of the things you don't pay taxes on. So now you know that, and this is not as comprehensive as what it is if you are selling in the United States. Here's another caveat, okay? You also have to, if you're selling from international, you also have to be very cognizant of, if you are selling to customers in the United States, you will be responsible for paying the taxes in the United States. We will be talking about that as well when we talk about taxes, okay? What are you responsible for? And then so in the United States, we show our taxes separately. If you're international, you show your prices with tax included. And then again, are you going to let's show here. Are you going to charge taxes on shipping? Yes, but again, you need to find out what the rules and regulations are in each state, parish, county. Even the counties can sometimes be different, right? So and charge VAT on digital goods. This is international. So so you have to make sure. I'm going to discard this. I'll put it in. You have to be sure and do some research about your taxes, okay? And what are you responsible for? For instance, I do not have to pay taxes on digital goods in Texas, okay? But, or say for instance, I'm a hairdresser and I'm selling products online or selling hairdresser services. You don't pay taxes in Texas, but you pay taxes in Louisiana according to the parish, okay? So in the UK you have parishes as well, okay? So it is all according to, go to the state government, websites and do your research. Normally, you just pay taxes on inventory. Normally, you just pay taxes on stuff that. So you're okay. When I'm talking about taxes, I'm talking about sales taxes, okay? Income tax is totally different to sales tax. So if I'm talking about taxes in your store, is sales tax. Sales tax is paid by your customer, that is a flow through and is paid to the government, okay? So it's not your money. Preferably, don't spend the money, put it in a separate account. Shopify does not separate it. It's your responsibility. They're not your boss. Put that sales tax in a separate account. Take it every month, do a tally, take that money, put it in a separate account so you know it's secure. The amount of times I've spoken to businesses where they are buying new stuff, they are spending, and then tax day comes and they haven't got the money. Make sure this is not your money to spend, okay? Make sure that you know that you have the money to spend on your, especially in the beginning, right? When you're making money and you're spending money on products, if you're spending money on marketing, it's so easy to spend the money and think you're going to make it back fast. You're not going to make it back fast. Make sure you know what you're doing, okay? So that's all I'm going to say about taxes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the billing part of, I'll put Andrews, the billing part of Shopify. And because plans and permissions, billing. Okay, first let's talk about plans and permissions. So plans and permissions is your is your plan that you're going to decide what to pay Shopify. You pay a small amount to Shopify. Any shopping platform is the same. They charge you between $29, $28, and $30 to run your store on their server. Okay, so you're paying for a service. That's the only money you pay Shopify. Shopify payments is with the payment provider and gateway is a totally different thing, and we will be talking about that tomorrow. Okay, so this is your plan and permission. So if you're going into billing, yes, payment methods, bills. Okay, no, let's go back to payment, planning and permissions. So when we go live, the first thing that's going to happen is you are going to have to make a decision on what your plan is, okay? And so you have a $9 plan, you have a $30 plan, and the $9 you cannot have an online store. It's just when you want to use the buy buttons. So I have, I'll show you. One of the stores is $9 is PCBIS. And what they're doing is they just using the store for buy buttons that they put on WordPress. It's a college courses and everything. We haven't put it on Shopify. We will be, but for now we're only using this for the courses that they're running and the programs. So we're using the buy buttons to actually use on another website. And so it's not orders. It's all about people, and we have a whole CRM running that for us. Okay, so the first level and the second level is your $29, and it's $30.48 with taxes. You have to pay the taxes, and you this is what's going to cost you every month to run your store. So you've got to calculate that into your costs. I will be showing you how to set up your fixed cost and your variable cost and how many units you have to sell to actually make some money, but that comes a little bit down the line when we're talking, after we talk about your finances. We're going to be talking about that. Okay, so you're going to be deciding about a plan, and then you can add staff accounts. It depends on your plan, and that's all. Other stuff is not important, but the plan is important. You got to know what is your bottom line when you are starting your store, and you might be paying that for several months before you start making money, right? And then you might be adding a couple of apps as well. We always try and make it as cheaply as possible. We don't like adding apps that cost money, but sometimes you have to, if you have a certain need to have different options, or if you options you can put into Shopify, or if you are, if you have a loyalty program. What else is there? Let's see it. I'll show you just a quick because you got to be aware that those costs will be on top of your costs of what you're going to be charged. Okay. All right, so we're talking about checkout, taxes. We talked about the general business and what you're going to pay once you set up Shopify. Once you set up Shopify, you will be getting a bill every month, and it'll come off automatic. Okay, so you will be able to see how much you're paying, what are you paying. And this is also new, but we won't be talking about that yet because you don't need that. And let me see. Hopefully this is now on. Okay. I don't know why this is not working. Let's go here. Okay. I need to log in to my store, and I'll show you what it looks like to have bills, and it comes through every month on your credit card or your account. Settings, because unless you've seen it, you don't know what I'm talking about. So again, this is part of your business. Okay, so I have my MasterCard in there. Use Shopify balance to pay your bills. So this, I say, if I have a balance of credit on my, that Shopify is going to pay me. The people have bought stuff from me, and it goes into my bank account. So Shopify can actually take my bills off that payment, so I don't have to worry about it. So it's easy right now because I'm not separating the bills, but this is my current bill, and then I've just paid for a domain. There's no credits, and you can always see how much you've paid, what you're paying a month. This is a subscription that I'm paying, and I better take it off. I've paid the domain, okay, and these are my charges, right? So you need to keep a close eye on how much money you are spending, because that all comes off your overheads, and it all comes off of what you are actually selling, so we have to be careful of what we are doing. So let me see what else is on the list. Billing, finance overview. We've done that. Taxes, files. We're not going to do files today. And permissions. Let me show you about permissions. This is important as well. So if you have somebody that's in your store that comes and helps you, and it will happen, right? Then you add a staff account. Add a staff account. I'm going to do this. My son always gets into trouble. Actually, I'm going to send this to dave.jeans@gmail.com. Actually, I'll send it to myself so I can show you. I hope it'll do it. Okay, send invite. So email's already been taken. Okay, so I have to do it. That's why I'm doing Dave, Jeans, Dave, and he never checks his Gmail, so I'm okay. gmail.com, send invite. I've got this fan blasting on my face. Okay, so this is going to be sent to David, and I know that some of you have already got that email from Shopify, so you know how it works. Okay, then you got to give them he's got full access right now, so you got to set the permissions. So the permissions is, what do you want them to see? So if somebody is working in your store and coding, you have to give them not full permissions, okay, but you give them all these permissions, and you will give them no, they don't have to have any of these permissions, right? They don't need to see your orders or your draft orders or your products or your gift cards or customers, reports, stuff like that. So you can make it as restrictive as you want to. I would make it as restrictive as possible, and then if they say they can't see something, you'll go in and actually make it less restrictive. Okay, so this is how you can control. If you have staff working for you, if you have people adding stuff to products, then they have to have that. If they're not going to handle marketing, because here the marketing is ads and stuff, so you can make it as restrictive or whatever you want to. Okay. And all of this other stuff is pretty makes sense, right? Makes sense. So let's go to plans and permissions. So that's how you allow people to help you in your store. I will, if you allow me, I will always be and so for instance, if you have a $30, the second level permission, you can only have 2 staff accounts. I will never take up one of those staff accounts if I'm helping you in your store. I will always be a collaborator, okay? So you'll always have 2 to give permissions. Here's another tip. Once they've helped you, chuck them out. You don't want people roaming around your store that don't need to be there, okay? Let's go back. Yeah, I've got my list, plans and permissions, Shopify plans. We talked about that. And actually, we talked about permissions. I need to get that in as well. All right. And here is one. The other thing is, this is the cool part here. Plans and permissions. No. Your store right now is password enabled. You can enable your store to not show to the world. Okay. Not anybody's going to know it's there. Truth be honest. Even if you're putting your stuff up, I like to not have it store enabled so I can see whatever I can outside my store. So you can do whatever you want. If you do that, save, this is what's going to happen. I wonder if I can see it, unless I have the domain going, right? See this. I don't have the domain going, but let's see if I can get this going. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, here we go. See? So you have to have a password to get into this, okay? So nobody can actually log in to see it. But it might restrict you from seeing your website when you want to see what you're doing. But I would put it on the password just so that nobody can actually buy stuff from you, because you would hate to actually send some stuff out, right? Because you need prices, you need weights, you need all sorts of things to get your store up and running. Oh, my eyes are watering. I'm such big allergies today. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to cover today, guys, because we're going to do checkout. We're going to do shipping and deliveries. We've done a little bit of locations, and I'm going to run this the inventory through with it as well. We're going to do gift cards. I'm going to do an extra little file upload and how to use files. That's going to be an extra video, bonus video. We're going to do sales channels, store language. We're going to do a little bit as well, and then legal is a complete different video, and then importing your products and everything. Make a selection. You could actually import your products from different platforms, which is actually very interesting. We've never had this before. Very, very cool. This is completely new. Anyway, so I hope this made sense today. I'm going to be, as I said, I'm going to be posting some little videos on the files. And then we're going to be, tomorrow is setting up your financials, which is this. Complete payments, setting up your financials. I'll be posting a checklist of stuff that you need to have before you can actually register your payments and everything. And it's going to be very interesting, because I'm going to do, I think what I'm going to do is I'll do a USA video, and then I might do an international video, just so that you don't get confused between the two. Because it is a little bit more complicated when you're international, but all the things are there that you need, okay? Thank you for popping in. I hope you have an absolutely splendiferous day. I will see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, with different information. Make sure that you fill out all your information today and find out what your taxes are. Do some research on your taxes and make sure that you are legal in your state, because we do not want to get into trouble about our VAT and sales taxes, right? Because that's all got to do with the government and the federal IRS. Not getting into trouble with the tax guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.